this is me.
While I'm fairly new to the Revolut card and it's really awesome, easy to use app, the sign up process has been simple.
Doing a review about 3 months ago on the new Revolut card. However, I've got a bit of a confession to make. That's because I was a little naive back then about how good it actually is. I'd only at that point just found out about these travel top-up cards. And so I just started talking about it and researching it and got really excited without having the real user experience. First, I reviewed it on face value. I went through the process, I signed up, thought this is amazing. So simple to get my card and be able to load it up and be ready for an overseas trip. But when I finally got it in my pocket and I gave it a whirl on my most recent trip to the US, let's just say my opinion didn't change, and I don't know how I will use any other digital travel product ever again. So here I am to do this review again for you guys on S Money's YouTube channel properly. Once upon a time, there weren't very many options for transferring your money or using your cards overseas. It was a bit of a minefield. Remember traveler's checks? They were weird, but they were useful. There's also that mega issue of coming home with a pocket full of coins that is totally useless. When you get home and it sits in a jar, it just gets thrown out a couple of years later. And then there's the physical act of changing your money. Changing it whether you're at the airport before you go or when you land in country. You're often heckled at the airport or charged exorbitant fees if you're just using your regular debit card that you've brought from home. But thankfully, that's all changed. And in this global currency exchange world, there are options. This one is the Revolut card. It's a game changer. I use that word quite a bit, but here at S Money, we're all about game changers. The process to signing up for one of these was seamless and easy. I couldn't believe how easy it was. Now, Revolut, it's been around for a while now, since about 2015. So before you get scared off by this new tech, it's not a new thing. It and its competitors like Wise, we've got another review of Wise on the S Money YouTube channel that you can check out, is fast becoming the way that Australians are spending money overseas. Revolut, it has many different plans. You're not just signing up for one thing. There's standard plans, plus plans, premium, and then there's its upper metal plan, which is for its big time users. Users that have a bit more complex needs in their travel. When I signed up, I was on a promo and I was lucky enough to get a premium plan, which would then divert to a $9 per month rate after that. But what I was super impressed with right out of the box was the sign up process. It was easy, from downloading the app to verifying my ID, then being even given the option to customize my own physical card with little emojis or decorations or the font that my name appeared on when it came to me. But initially just starting as a single fintech company, Revolut has definitely evolved for the modern traveling consumer like me. It's not just about spending money and tapping while you're overseas. It just gives you an accessible overview of multiple currencies that you can access in the single one interface, which is what separates it from your own debit card that you might be bringing from home or your credit card that you might have done a deal with a credit card supplier that's probably charging you exorbitant fees. These are top-up cards, which means you lock in the rate when you make the exchange to change your money from one currency to another. And if you're staying within their monthly limits, we can't recommend it more highly. But if you are pulling out lots and lots of cash while you're overseas, not sure why you would be doing that, this one is probably not for you. From my perspective, just the ease of being able to tap my card and know that the rate that I was getting or the fees that I wasn't being charged anywhere where I was tapping in the US on my most recent trip was like this moment of light bulb enlightenment. It was great. The reason being is because when you're on holiday, you don't have to worry about anything, especially how you're being charged fees, because everything is expensive. And so this is just one little thing that you could control in your everyday habits while overseas. Here are some of the other pros and cons I identified when first trying out the Revolut card in a real life setting while in the US. First things first, Revolut is super travel friendly. It's quite apparent that it's a card for travelers like you and me, which means that there's lots of trust built behind it. Like I said, it started in 2015, so it's not some brand new startup operation based out of Silicon Valley or the Ukraine. With the shocking Australian to US dollar exchange rate at the moment, it was super helpful.
I ditched any other methods of transferring money because of the real exchange rate I was able to get. That real exchange rate is the same rate that you get as if you were typing into an online currency converter like XE and working out how much your money is worth in another country. The app, the little financial guardian angel in your pocket. It is amazing. Getting onto the app was a breath of fresh air. All the bugs and kinks had been worked out of this thing, you can tell. After I used it, I couldn't work out why my own bank didn't have a user experience as simple as this. Once I was verified, the top-up process was easy. I could see everything in the one place. I knew where my cards were, and I knew how to start spending straight away. What I loved about it most is that I can also hold multiple currencies on the same card. That means I'm able to use the same interface when I'm looking at my spending habits across the 3 countries. So from the US to Korea to Japan, even when I come home to Australia and buy a coffee when I land at the airport, if I don't want to use my debit card, which I might do. The other bonus is I don't even need a physical card. I just added it to my Apple Wallet and just tapped with my phone everywhere I went. I was able to do that because I'd already downloaded the new Revolut eSIM, which if you watch this video, you'll be able to see why I love that product so much. Imagine preparing for a Euro trip. Just exchange your money in the app and boom, you're good to go. No more worrying about finding a currency exchange booth or quickly jumping onto xe.com to work out whether you're being ripped off with the extra couple of zeros at the end. This is all in your pocket and it's all in one easy place for you to see. The other thing I loved were the immediate notifications. They came instantly, the minute I swiped. Every time you make a transaction or transfer cash, your phone buzzes. Like I said, it's like a financial guardian angel just watching over you, making sure that you're staying in budget and you're not being ripped off. I love Revolut. At one point, and as I admit, I'm a newbie using these things, I entered the wrong PIN because I was a little bit confused. And I also then, in another time, went over my balance by a couple of cents. I was updated instantly by Revolut and the app, which made me just step back, look at what I bought, and work out where I'd stuffed up, which is sort of feedback that you don't get if you're just using a regular card. My first use was actually in the sky, flying in a plane, purchasing Wi-Fi on United Airlines. It even worked there, seamlessly, quickly, no problems at all. A few other things we can't go past. For the standard Revolut card, there's no monthly fees. The Revolut app gives users full control over all the features, so you can control your memberships and the way that your accounts are structured inside the app. You don't need to go online. You can freeze or unfreeze your card there. You can set monthly spending limits, so you can make sure that you're not buying that extra Prada bag when you're in Milan. And you can toggle features like contactless payments or ATM withdrawals. Budgeting and analytics, something that I need sometimes when I'm going out for dinners or activities in the US. The app offers an overview of your spending, like again, another overview, less like a guardian angel, more like your mum in your pocket. It looks at your spending patterns, characterizing your transactions and your behaviors and providing you like real-time feedback about the way you're spending your money overseas. This is great for users like me who want to monitor their spending habits, especially if I'm doing it lots of different times, so I can just make more informed decisions about the way I'm spending money overseas. The other thing is that Revolut offers cryptocurrency exchange and holding for certain crypto, which could benefit some users who are interested in spending in this area. But no fairy tale is without its currency dragons. I love it, but there are some drawbacks that I feel compelled to tell you about. There's a monthly cap on free ATM withdrawals with Revolut. So if you're an ATM junkie like me, keep an eye on that. I didn't really need that because I was quite happy spending and tapping with my card the whole time I was there. I could go without cash. One of the drawbacks that a lot of older people don't love is there's no physical branch that you can like go in and make sure everything's okay, especially if, you know, something goes wrong, which inevitably with a lot of money things, these problems are unavoidable sometimes. While they do offer cryptocurrency services, transferring these assets from the Revolut ecosystem can be a little bit limited and clunky. This means you can't send your crypto to an external wallet, for example. After all that, here's my final verdict on why the Revolut card is my #1 choice for your next visit overseas, because I got to road test it while I was just in the US. Better rates. That's the first thing. As I mentioned, you often get the real exchange rate. That's the rate if you were using Google or a website like XE and converting the currency there. That's way more favorable than those gimmicky tourist exchange desks that you see everywhere.
flexibility. If you need US dollars today, Japanese yen tomorrow, there's the flexibility to do all that from your app and not need to do it across multiple banks or cards. Safety. What I loved about the Revolut card in the US is that I could preload it up either each day or every couple of days, and I wasn't carrying around a single card or huge wads amounts of cash, which put basically steal from me on my forehead. Real-time monitoring and app user interface is beautiful and anyone can use it. So if you're a fly-by-the-seat globetrotter, a regular currency stress head like me and you're always worrying about getting charged fees, or just someone who loves the convenience of having all of their money in one place on an app that sits in their pocket, giving you full control over your finances while you're on holiday so you don't have to worry about anything, the Revolut card is probably the card you need to try. Just remember to stay up to date with any changes they might make, especially since me making this video, because they do make changes quite often, and always spend wisely. I hope that helps. Stay tuned for more videos on S Money's YouTube channel. Enjoy.